William Shakespeare's Sonnet 55 deals with the ravaging power of time and states that time does not even spare monuments as large, as expansive as the royal palaces or material as strong as stone. Hello, my name is Neha and you're watching this video on the Pratyancha channel. If you've been following the channel, you would know that we discuss poetry stanza by stanza, line by line. So today we are initiating a new playlist on the channel entitled William Shakespeare, and Sonnet 55 is first of the videos of this playlist. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, consider doing so today. So let's discuss William Shakespeare's Sonnet 55. A sonnet is a 14-line poem, but it is not any poem. A sonnet has a very specific rhyme scheme and a very specific meter. If a piece of poem does not follow this particular rhyme scheme and this particular meter, then it cannot be a Shakespearean sonnet. Shakespeare wrote about 154 sonnets, all on the theme of love, and this particular sonnet, like I said, is themed on time. Let me just tell you a little bit about the structure of a sonnet. A sonnet can be divided into 4 parts. 3 parts have 4 lines each. So the first quatrain, the second quatrain, the third quatrain, and finally the 4th part is a couplet which has 2 lines. And the rhyme scheme is AB, AB, CD, CD, EF, EF, GG, which is to say, if you look at the sonnet on your screen, monuments rhymes with contents, rhyme rhymes with time, overturn with burn, masonry with memory, enmity with posterity, room with doom, and arise with eyes. So this is a very specific rhyme scheme that a sonnet has to follow, otherwise it cannot be a Shakespearean sonnet. And then I said meter. A Shakespearean sonnet is always written in iambic pentameter, which means each line of the sonnet needs to have 10 syllables. A syllable is a part of a word, or sometimes a word that has only 1 vowel. So when it has 10 syllables, they are divided, in the case of the iambic pentameter, it has 10 syllables each line, and these 10 syllables are divided into 5 parts. So therefore each part is a pair of 2 syllables, and it's called an iamb. Iambic pentameter gets its name from the iamb, the pair of syllables, one of which is unstressed and the second of which is stressed, and then pentameter because 5 pairs, 10 divided by 2, they comprise each line. So iambic pentameter is a necessity for the Shakespearean sonnet, and like I told you, the rhyme scheme also is very specific, where every alternate line rhymes with each other. So in this sense, a sonnet is a very specific piece of poetry and can be termed so only when it follows this rhyme and meter pattern. Let's discuss Sonnet 55. Shakespeare says, "Not marble, not the gilded monuments of princes shall outlive this powerful rhyme, but you shall shine more bright in these contents than unswept stone besmeared with sluttish time." He says that whether these are monuments of marble which belong to princes or to a royal family, and marble, let me remind you, was an expensive material to use, so he's talking about the extravagance, the scale of construction. And then he says gilded monuments. Gilded means something which is covered in gold. So even the gilded monuments made out of marble, monuments that are really large and that are made out of very strong material, even they shall not outlive this piece of poetry that I write. The word rhyme is to denote this particular piece of poetry. Shakespeare says that whatever the strength of these monuments, whatever their size, they shall not have an age which is longer than this piece of poetry that I write. These monuments will die away, will decay away before my poetry gets the same fate. And then he says, "And you, my dear beloved, you shall shine bright in the wonderful lines I write towards you." And in these contents means the contents of the poetry, the text of the poetry. And he says that you shall shine more bright than unswept stone besmeared with sluttish time. Unswept stone, there are monuments that are not taken care of. There are monuments that are not maintained. And then time leaves the signs of its ravaging on them. They are besmirred with sluttish time. Sluttish time, time which is whorish, does not have any morals. All it knows that it has to age and decay things. So sluttish time, he calls time sluttish, which is a very strong word to use. He feels that time is something which we can never escape. And let me tell you, this is a theme that he'll explore in many sonnets out of the 154 that he has written. Constantly he wishes to work with this idea that it is very difficult to get out of the grasp of time. It is very difficult to live out of time, and it is impossible to do so. Difficult is a wrong word. It is impossible to do so. You would certainly be in time and you would certainly age, and everything will decay with time. This theme has had a very strong hold on the poet's intangible as he wrote these sonnets. So he says to his beloved that even if stone monuments that do stand but are not taken care of, and stone be that stronger material, yet I think you would shine brighter than these monuments that still are living with you, because they have been marked by the ravages of time, while you, my beloved, are as shining and as bright as I know you to be. And now if you see in this sonnet, like I said, monuments has rhymed with contents and rhyme with time. So AB, AB, that's the rhyme scheme followed here. In the second quatrain, Shakespeare says, when wasteful war shall statues overturn and broils root out the work of masonry, nor Mars his sword nor war's quick fire shall burn the living record of your memory. He says that human beings fight a lot of wars. And these wars are wasteful. War is always wasteful. And a lot of statues or monuments during these wars, they are destroyed, they are overturned, and they decay and they are no more. And broils. Broils is a kind of a disturbance, a kind of a fight or a quarrel that erupts, and these quarrels root out the work of masonry. And he always keeps referring to statues, to masonry, to monuments, to exemplify the fact that we are talking of something very strong, something which has a foundation, something which cannot be done away by, say, bare hands. So he's always implying strength and scale, and he says even these things cannot stand the test of time. So masonry work, or work that is used to construct a building, that also comes undone as a result of the battles and quarrels and wars that mankind has. And then he refers to the god of war, Mars. He says, but the sword of Mars, and even the quick fires that result out of a war. Quick fire meaning something which very readily spreads to parts of where it has broken out, and it just burns everything that is in its way. And it is not just quick in spreading, it is quick in destroying as well, and it's not discriminating at all. It burns everything that lies in its way. So he says that even with the sword of the god of war, or even with fires that break out during a war, the living record of your memory shall not be destroyed. You shall always live on. Your memory shall always live on. Why does he say living record? Because it's a record that's always living. And where is the record? In the poem, in the piece that the poet writes. Let's look at the third quatrain. 'Gainst death and all oblivious enmity shall you pace forth, your praise shall find room even in the eyes of all posterity that wear this world out to the ending doom. He says that in the preceding quatrain, the last line was that the god of war or the fires that break out during a war cannot destroy your living memory. He continues to say that you shall stand strong against death. Even death will not be able to erase your identity, and against all the oblivious enmity. And I think with oblivious enmity here, the poet again implies time. Time is oblivious, it tends to forget that something is beautiful and something is worth preserving. Time is unmindful of all this, and time treats everything with the same hostility. So the poet says that, my beloved, you shall be spared of this hostility, of this enmity that time has towards things of the world. So against death and all oblivious, that which is unmindful, enmity, that which is hostile. So you shall always be prevented from these forces, from death, from oblivion, and from hostility. And then you shall pace forth. What a phrase to use, that you shall come to you shall announce yourself. You should just come to be in the presence of human beings who shall then praise you. Your praise shall find room. So you shall be praised by these human beings and who come in the future generations, because he says all posterity, for all times to come you've been saved, for all future generations that shall come, your memory and your beauty and love shall always be there. So he uses the phrase pace forth. You shall just come and present yourselves and you shall draw praises out of them from all the future generations. So in the eyes of all posterity, all future generations, and these generations are that will use the world and bring it to its final doom. So there is a sense that the world one day will surely come to an end. There'll be a judgment day where everything will come to an end, and till that day you shall be alive. You shall come to an end only on doomsday or on judgment day, not before. And these generations may use the world, tire the world to its doom, but you shall always live on. And then in the last part, in the couplet of the sonnet, the poet says, so till the judgment that yourself arise, you live in this and dwell in lovers' eyes. Till the judgment day in which you shall arise, because everyone arises and finally they are brought alive again, and then the judgment is pronounced. Till that day you will live on by my work. You live in this, which means this poetry, and you shall dwell in lovers' eyes. All lovers shall know you, love you, praise you. So that's Sonnet 55 by William Shakespeare. If you liked watching this video, do comment and let me know what did you like about it. If you want to say something to me, also comment in the comment box below. I'll keep bringing such videos to you. Thank you.